Just got a video about my new Camaro. Had it a little under a month now. It's the 1LS. It's a 3.6 liter, 323 horsepower LFX engine, direct injection with variable valve timing. It's Blu-ray metallic, which is kind of hard to see. It really has to be sunny out to really see the blue. And then it has the racing stripes or rally stripes on it, and they are cyber gray metallic. Yeah, I kind of like the stripes are not too over the top. The whole car is not too crazy. That's what I like about it. The hood, it has that bit of like a cowl bump on it or something. It's pretty cool. My dad works for GM, and he actually designed the die, which actually shapes the metal for the door, which is pretty cool. You got those little gill vent looking things like on the original Camaro. You got a little flare on the fender there, and then I like how it the passenger area of the car goes in like that. And this one also has a spoiler. I think for a couple of the model years they didn't have a spoiler standard on an entry-level trim. It's not a huge spoiler, but it's still better than nothing on here. The only thing that I don't like is the gas cap is on the passenger side. It's one thing I got to get used to. All the cars I've had before, it's always been on the other side. It has a standard 18-inch wheels called the Heritage steel wheels, I think. They're actually a black center part, and the silver trim around it's actually a semi-hubcap type thing. It's kind of weird, but no, they look pretty good on the car this dark. I would have liked the better wheels, but for now they're okay. I'm not going to go get new tires right away and just get rid of these. It'd just be a waste of money. It does have dual exhaust. I think there's stainless steel tips on those. The inside's just the black seats. Nice thing is they do have a little bit of the stitching on it, which makes it look good. They are like a racing style seat, so pretty comfortable. It is a 6-speed, but that's your shift pattern there. Just has normal rubber pedals. The floor mats, I actually just bought some to put over it, but they do have the little tabs so they don't move around. I just got these for like $7, so figured might as well put them on, keep the good ones. Okay. The back doesn't have floor mats standard, but those happen to fit too, the ones that I bought after the fact. Now the back seat, you have room for 2 passengers. It's kind of tight, so wouldn't recommend it for long trips for passengers, but the seats are actually pretty comfortable on the back. It's just issues leg room. To get in the back, you can move the seats forward and back with that. And the seats also have a power adjustable recline. Now they can also go, the driver's seat anyway, can go up and down. That's like a pump action. You pull up to move the seat up, you push it down to move the seat down. And then there's a handle on the back to move the seat forward for passengers. With the base radio, you have an auxiliary input, which is actually in the console. That's your auxiliary input there. Your auxiliary input's in here. Down below, you have a little 3.5 millimeter audio input jack down there. You also have an accessory power outlet, 12 volts. Now that thing in there, that's going to be another video. That actually lets me use the new Nano and use the Bluetooth audio option on that, so I don't have to have a bunch of wires showing to listen to that iPod, so it wirelessly can play through the radio. Since a base model, you can't have wireless Bluetooth audio streaming through the radio. I think the Chevy MyLink, I think it's called, on the higher up trims, it's a touchscreen interface where I think they have that, or they have a USB where you can actually control your music device through the touchscreen itself. I purposely got this. One reason is I don't want a touchscreen radio on it. I was originally planning on upgrading to just a normal aftermarket where you'd have to change out this whole climate control and radio face thing That alone, just the upgrade aftermarket kit to install your own radio is like 300 something. And then you got the cost of your radio and whatever else you add. The sound on it's actually not that bad. The mid-range and high treble range is pretty good on it. The only thing is it doesn't have a subwoofer in the car standard, so that's something I'm probably going to add, is just an amp and that, and just keep this head unit here, because I think it gives the car a little bit of character. It's kind of interesting with the knobs, and then you got your climate control options on it with little plus sign things. On the higher up trims, these center things are for your heated seats, if you have that. The steering wheel, you have the little chrome and metallic silver trim, which is a little bit better than some of GM's lower model line cars. So it's a little bit nicer of a steering wheel. I still like the original Camaro steering wheel on the 2010 and 2011 models, but this I could live with. Steering wheel is adjustable with a tilt and a telescoping thing. There's a little clamp on the side so you can pull it forward or back or up and down. For your OnStar or smartphone, you have your call controls, your radio. I really like the cruise control on this car. I think that's on a lot of the Chevys. I think it's pretty similar. And it's easy to use. You can have it in standby all the time, and you just set it by pushing it down once you're at your speed, and you can just increase it by 1 mile an hour or decrease it by 1 mile an hour if you want, and then to turn it off you just press that or the brake. This year, the nice thing is it comes with leather on the dashboard on the base model, which I was surprised that that was actually standard with it. Now you have your Sidewinder type key and fob combination with this, so that's one thing you got to watch out. You don't want to lose that because it's that weird machined type key, which is probably, as of now, only available at the dealer. Now your gauges, you got a speedometer, your tachometer, gas, and engine temperature. This model, the 1LS and 2LS, which is automatic, do not have your gauge cluster down here. That's something I'm going to add in myself. I went to the dealer and that's about $400 to get the parts for, but it shouldn't take that long to put in. For your center display on the car, got a few different options here. Your controls for that display are, you have a set clear menu, and this rotates up and down to pick different displays. So the standard one shows your speed. That's where it defaults when you start the car. You can turn that off to blank. Navigation, that's with the OnStar. You can have written directions downloaded to your display there. It shows your average speed, fuel economy. Now with fuel economy, the car is actually rated 17 city, 28 highway. So let's see, the mileage is pretty good. It has your fuel range. You can reset your trip meters. Got 2 of them. Then let's see, we got menu, vehicle information. That's what we were just on. Oh no, we weren't. This is what it is. There's a speed warning you can set. You got a battery gauge, coolant temperature, oil life monitor, which will let you know when you need to change your oil. You got your tire pressure monitor, and you can change to metric or US depending on where you're driving. The mirror, it's a rimless glass mirror with, they're actually not buttons, they're the capacitance touch, I think that's what they're called, where you just touch them without actually pushing it. They're touch sensitive. And I think it was either this year or last year, they actually added power lock controls on the door, which I thought is kind of weird that they didn't originally have them there. This used to be your only lock and unlock was under the hazard lights, which is kind of weird. I would get pretty annoyed by that after a while. And then another thing they added on the manual transmission is hill hold. So if you're starting out on a grade or accelerating up a grade, it will hold the brakes for you so you don't roll back or roll forward before you plan to. If you don't opt to use the OnStar, you can use your smartphone, which nowadays pretty much everybody's got Bluetooth on them. You can actually search your phone book through the radio, which I find kind of nice. You have your dome light, which you can have activated by the door. You can turn it off or you can turn it on manually. Your traction control and stability control button here. If you press it once, it will turn off traction control, which is that little logo there. If you hold it down, it'll turn off your stability control too, so you can have a little fun with the car. The glove compartment. Have a pretty decent sized glove box actually for this car. And airbags, you have side airbags on the seat, you got your driver and passenger front airbags, and there's also curtain airbag along the upper side of the window trim. You got visors with just a little mirror, they're not anything elaborate. No vanity lights. Then you got a little pocket to put your some papers in. Now it has cup holders right there, which in the manual car, if you have tall drinking cups or something, it's going to be an issue, especially if you're driving in the city. On a long trip, when you're cruising on the freeway, it might not be a big problem. But otherwise, those are kind of annoying to have the cup holders right there. Oh yeah, up here you also have another power accessory outlet. Nice thing is the handles on the doors. I think they're metal. I can't tell if they're solid metal or if they're just chrome plated. I think they are metal though. They're pretty nice. It's hard to tell. Okay, you have a trunk release right there on your driver's door. The trunk is not that bad. It's pretty good size, and the back seat folds down for more space. Okay, like I mentioned before, the car is a 3.6 liter, a V6 LFX engine, and it has variable valve timing and direct injection. And it does have a drive-by-wire throttle, which is something that I'm not really a fan of, but on most newer cars that's what they're starting to do. It doesn't actually have a physical cable. Everything's pretty easy to get to. You have your coolant recovery tank here, your radiator cap, the brake anti-lock brake system. I like how that's actually up from, instead of getting blasted by, especially if you live around here, to get blasted by salt, which is no good. Brake lines look like they are coated with some type of like epoxy thing, which is good. Got your windshield fluid. This has one of those cartridge style oil filters, which I actually kind of like because they're not as messy. Brake fluid, remote positive. Let's see what's under here. I think that takes your cover off. You need to take that. Oh yeah, your air filter's right there. Got your PCV line that goes back to the intake. Now I'm probably going to install, the problem with the direct injection is the injector is actually inside the piston, so the back of the intake valves actually will start getting a bunch of deposits on them. So I'm going to install what's called a catch can on here, which I will have a video regarding that when I get to that, which will be relatively soon. Got your dipstick over there by the oil filter. There's your power steering fluid, which you got to take the cover off to get to that. Yeah, that's what the lights look like on the base model. They don't have the rings, or they're not the HID. Now these are the rear tail lights. They're kind of a honeycomb type lens on there, which looks pretty cool.